Hello and welcome to Elbc Newsline, the full hour of news from Liberia and other parts of the world. Today is Thursday, November 27, 2025. My name is Fabian Kuya presenting and these are our top stories. President Joseph Boyka and fellow ECOWAS leaders conclude emergency meeting on Guinea-Bissau's military takeover. House Speaker Richard Kuhn apologizes for threatening to jail journalists. Liberal Broadcasting System Director General craves budgetary increment for the system, and away from whom an Army General sworn in as Guinea-Bissau's head of state after an apparent coup. Also coming up, an ELBC commentary titled Liberal will, LBS will maintain a definite lead in the broadcast industry, exposed for weather report, the news in Liberian English and French. But first, Hassan Kiawi and the news bulletin.
Many thanks. The Authority of Heads of State and Government, the highest decision-making body of ECOWAS, has held an emergency meeting on the latest coup in Guinea-Bissau. On Wednesday, a group of military officers announced that they have seized control of Guinea-Bissau and made reports that the president, Umaru Sissoco Embalo, has been arrested. Shortly after gunshots were heard in the capital Bissau, President Embalo was reportedly detained. The officers then appeared on the state television saying they had suspended the electoral process following Sunday's presidential election. Thursday's ECOWAS meeting was virtually attended by President Jose Nima Bouaka of Liberia, along with the presidents of Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and the African Union chairperson. Meanwhile, a communique is expected to be released soon. At the same time, the president of the African Union Commission, Mahmoud Yusuf, has condemned the military coup d'etat in Guinea-Bissau on November 26, 2025. The AU chairperson Yusuf said the coup had resulted in the arrest of President Umaru Sissoco Embalo and high-note officials and political leaders while the country was about to announce electoral results. He said the African Union has zero tolerance policy in relation to any unconstitutional change of government, as well as the firm rejection of such practices in accordance with the African Union's main regulatory instruments. Ambassador Mahmoud Yusuf emphasized the imperative character of respect for the ongoing electoral process and preservation of constitutional order in accordance with the mandate of the National Election Commission. He called for the immediate and unconditional release of President Mbalo and all responsible persons detained, urging all parties to exercise maximum restraint to avoid any further deterioration of the situation. Leading African election observation missions are calling on continental bodies to intervene and restore democracy after soldiers disrupted a credible election process in Guinea-Bissau. The joint mission from the African Union, ECOWAS, and the West African Elders Forum issued a direct response or request for the AU and ECOWAS to take the necessary steps to restore constitutional order. The mission's call comes after a group of armed soldiers in Guinea-Bissau seized the power and arrested the top officials, including those managing the election. The observers praised the earlier peaceful conduct of the polls and revealed that the leading presidential candidates had committed to respecting the outcome, making the military's intervention a direct assault on the express will of the people. The statement included an urgent appeal for the release of all detained officials and for the public to maintain calm. The missions underscored their commitment to supporting Guinea-Bissau, emphasizing that the preservation of peace and the well-being of its people are paramount during this period. House Speaker Richard Kuhn has apologized for threatening to jail journalists who would record if session had not been called to order. According to Speaker Kuhn, he jokingly made the statement on Tuesday when several lawmakers in chambers were sharing jokes while awaiting session to be formally convened. The jokes amongst lawmakers, the Speaker noted, were not meant for public record. Speaker Richard Kuhn reaffirmed his respect for the rights of journalists and press freedom. He urged journalists covering the legislature to be professional and cooperate with the rules governing the House of Representatives and Senate. Meanwhile, Legispool Press Pool, the governing body of journalists covering the legislature, has welcomed the open apology delivered in chambers by House Speaker Richard Combs. The leadership of Legispool described the public apology as a demonstration of maturity, leadership, and a genuine commitment to rebuilding trust between lawmakers and the press. According to a release, Legispool appreciated the Speaker for improved collaboration and assured the public that journalists assigned at the legislature will remain committed to professionalism, ethical reporting, and fairness. The organization underscored the press freedom, safety, and respect for journalists are fundamental to Liberia's democracy, noting that no journalist should be threatened or intimidated while performing duties within the Capitol building. Meanwhile, the legislative press pool leadership has encouraged all reporters to maintain high ethical standards and urged lawmakers and legislative staff to continue fostering an environment that supports transparency, mutual respect, and free speech. Liberia Broadcasting System Director General Eugene Fangong is calling on the Finance Ministry and the legislature to increase the entity's budget for fiscal year 2026. According to DJ Fangong, the current allocation is insufficient to meet the growing demands of the national broadcaster. He said an increment would not only enhance the institution's technical capacity, but also support several ongoing initiatives aimed at expanding media access in remote parts of the country. Director Fangon disclosed that LBS has already embarked upon a series of modernization efforts, including upgrading transmission equipment, installing new regional relays, and improved content production standards. He, however, noted that these initiatives require sustained financial backing to be fully realized. Director Fangon also stressed that strengthening the national broadcaster is essential for promoting transparency, civic engagement, and national unity. Meanwhile, the Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, Eugene Fangon, says the 600 watts television relay transmission in Grand Bassa County is part of President Joseph Boakar's vision to ensure information is disseminated to all parts of the country. Mr. Fangon noted that the initiative will improve the national broadcaster television coverage and ensure citizens are informed about government's programs and policies in the county. He also highlighted the installation of similar television in Bomi, Lofa, Grand Jide, and current installation work in Grand Bassa County as areas LBS extended its relay television stations. The LBS Director General disclosed that management will shortly move to Margibi and other parts of the counties for similar activities and believe these relay stations will strengthen citizens' right access to the national television. Meanwhile, Mr. Fangong is being accompanied on a trip by the Deputy Director General for Operations and Technical Services, Buffett Lloyd, and other co-workers, ensuring that the institution's mission in the area is achieved. The Executive Mansion has announced the appointment of an ad hoc committee to facilitate the recruitment of the Vice Executive Chairperson for the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the LACC. According to a release, the Executive Mansion named Councillor Bushu Keita, legal advisor to the President, as chair of the ad hoc committee. Other members of the committee include a representative from the Press Union of Liberia, Governance Commission, the Liberian National Bar Association, among others. The committee has been tasked with the mandate to ensure all publications are made in accordance with the LACC and to evaluate applicants within 15 days after the submission of applications. The establishment of the committee underscores government's commitment to provide transparency, integrity, and merit-based appointments within the nation's anti-corruption framework. The Liberian Medicine and Health Products Regulatory Authority, LMHRA, says it has removed and disposed of about 641.88 tons of expired health products from 10 counties. LMHRA Managing Director Luke Bao disclosed that five southeastern counties are still remaining. Mr. Bao said the authority is working towards international accreditation and certification for its laboratory to enhance its reputation and capabilities. The LMHRA managing director noted that the public-private partnership agreement has been finalized to modernize the LMHRA Quality Control Laboratory in Carisbrooke, Moswell County. The LMHRA boss added that the introduction of the electronically traceable QR codes for health products is being considered to improve accountability and transparency in the pharmaceutical supply chain. Meanwhile, a new state-of-the-art healthcare waste disposal infrastructure is expected to be inaugurated in Kukutam by December 31st. The infrastructure was funded by the Global Fund through Plan Liberia. LMHRA Managing Director Luke Bao said the facility would include a large-scale loading incinerator, warehouses, generators, monitoring wells, and an office, among others. Addressing Mika's press briefing Thursday, Mr. Bao noted that the infrastructure will be available to governmental agencies to safely dispose of illicit substances and to improve health sector waste management. He disclosed that the Health Ministry has committed to funding the extension of electricity to the site, and the Public Works Ministry has agreed to upgrade the road leading to the facility. The governments of Israel and Liberia have launched a targeted initiative to empower Liberian healthcare workers with advanced neonatal recovery skills. The initiative is to reduce infant mortality with a critical focus on first 60 seconds of life known as the golden minute. A release said the initiative will be implemented by the Israeli non-profit organization Neonatologists for Africa in collaboration with Liberian health authorities. As part of the partnership, the release said NFA will work with the Liberian doctors and nurses to, to embed life-saving techniques into the standard of care at maternity wards across Liberia. Meanwhile, Assistant Health Minister Dr. Teya Saki Moore and a team will visit 6 medical facilities to include the JFK Medical Center, Redemption Hospital, James and David Hospital, Pipeline Clinic to assess gaps in knowledge, equipment, and tailored intervention plans. In another development, the ministry has launched the National Fistula Campaign in Sokoto-Bon County to provide hope for women suffering from obstetric fistula, a traceable childbirth injury. The campaign, which comprises the free screening and surgical repair of affected women, is supported by ECOWAS and UNFPA. The ministry is urging the county teams, community leaders, and partners to help identify and refer women for timely care. A high-level national dialogue on anticipatory action to strengthen Liberia's disaster preparedness will take place tomorrow in Liberia. It is organized by the Liberia National Red Cross Society in partnership with the Liberia Disaster Management Agency, the Liberia Meteorological Service, and the Environmental Protection Agency, among others. The dialogue is under the theme Enhancing Resilience Through Anticipatory Action in Liberia. It is expected to bring together government entities, UN agencies, development partners, civil society organizations, and academia, including community representatives. According to the release, participants are to validate recent findings from the multi-risk anticipatory action feasibility and to define a national roadmap for early action. And Grand Crew County Senator Nimine Batikwa wants the Liberia Electricity Corporation and the Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission to reduce the cost of electricity for industries and businesses. In a communication to plenary Thursday, Senator Batikwa said reducing the cost per kilowatt from 20 cents to 15 cents will help to alleviate the high cost of electricity being incurred by businesses operating in the county. Senator Batikwa noted that the government total target megawatt for 2030 is 450, and the inclusion of major businesses and industries on national grid will raise the needed revenue for the government to achieve its goal. The committee chair on concession investment added that more businesses have expressed interest to expand their operations, but cannot do so due to the high cost of electrical power in the country. The Grand Creek County Senator alleged that the situation is hugely undermining the growth and development of Liberia's economy. As such, the Senate needs to appropriate action to address the matter. Meanwhile, plenary has instructed the Committee on Land, Mines and Energy to engage the management of the LERC and the LEC to report as soon as possible. And that's the shape of the bulletin. Back to you, Fabian.
Many thanks to Hassan Kel for the news bulletin. One of the top stories, Liberia Broadcasting System Director General clears budgetary increment for the system. On Wednesday, President Joseph Boyka symbolically addressed the opening session of the ongoing Medes Forum in Morocco. The president's address at the annual gathering rallied African leaders to rise above just titles in mitigating challenges confronting the continent. Our executive management reporter Vasta Talu has a detailed report of the Liberian leaders' address.